Good evening, everyone. Today is our second meeting, and uh, I'll start with the questions. What did you guys do last week? Uh, Bo, would you like to start?
Yeah, no problem. Well, after Shin and I completed last week's state report, I read the paper with everyone according to the plan, reviewed the problems encountered before, and complete our proposal. In order to prepare for the next part of the database, I recently reviewed some materials about SQL and other database language. That's all I do.
Okay, that's great. How about you, Ron?
Um, Actually, I didn't do much last week because, the proposal is like due this today. Yeah, so I was pretty busy with that. And aside from that, I basically just looked deeper into the original paper onto the locking mechanisms because, it's pretty complicated. And looking into the advantages and disadvantages of each, especially around, handling concurrency, their error tolerances, and how they perform in different situations. And yeah, doing that actually gave me a clearer picture of to understand how our approach is gonna impact overall efficiency and what should we look out as we move forward.
And what about you, Yao Yao?
Last week, I prepared a LaTeX document and make some modification to ensure that it's aligned with our overall objective of our project. And as part of our routine, I also started compiling a to-do list for our project to help monitor everybody's progress. And additionally, I created a corresponding Markdown file, and I already uploaded into GitHub for you to share, and maybe in the future we can collaborate on that.
And John, how about you?
Last week I worked on the group proposal to improve logging for the web application, and I contributed to the introduction, focusing on the challenges web application face with the traditional logging method, which often cause the performance bottlenecks. That's what I did last week.
Okay, for me, I continue to review the paper on ad hoc transactions, and I focusing on how this how the concepts in the paper uh, related to our practical implication in our project. And I also work on the proposal for that's due today, and I I help to ensure that the development environment was set up correctly, allowing us to focus on the project planning. And now we move on to the second question. What we'll do next week? Uh, Bo, would you like to start?
Yeah. Well, next week I think I will work with everyone to build the database and write the program. Complete task in orderly manner according to the plan. Yeah, that's all.
And Ron, how about you?
After, figuring out about the basic locking mechanisms about the, transactions, different kinds of transactions, I'm actually planning to start implementing some backend APIs, and the basic MySQL databases. Because we definitely need those APIs to do like to test and compare some of the real world performances of ad hoc transactions and this database transactions and the mechanism we're gonna come up with the optimistic locking mechanism. And those APIs mainly will include like user logging and order and inventory management. And I'm pretty confident that with these interfaces set up, we'll be able to dive deeper into how these locking mechanisms perform and particularly when dealing with concurrent users.
And Yaya, how about you?
Next week, I plan to explore suitable open source database that maybe can support our project, and I want to share my findings with the team to discuss that if the database is the most appropriate for our needs. And I think I would document our process in a LaTeX document to ensure that our experiment will be traceable for future writing. Yeah, that's all.
And the next one is John. How about you?
So I'm going to do the lecture review and take part in implementing optimistic locking system using Java and MySQL, and the initial test shows reduced resource contention, and we look forward to presenting more results soon. Thank you.
And for me, I will continue to explore the ad hoc transaction concept, and I will work with our team member to refine our understanding of the papers, and we will make sure that it aligns with our goals for the next step of the project. And now we move on to the third question. Is there any difficulty in your way? Bo, would you like to start?
Yeah, yes, I did. I discovered problems that we may encounter after reading the paper. Its performance battle check in high currency environments. Under extreme concurrency, optimistic locking can still suffer from performance degradation due to the overhang of conflict detection during the comment phase. Well, after researching, I found a solution. One way to address this is by implementing adaptive concurrency control mechanism, which dynamically adjusts the locking strategy based on system load and the transaction contention level. This can help optimize system performance by reducing the frequency of conflict checks and retries during peak load times. Additionally, incorporating technicals like snapshot isolation could help prevent conflicts by allowing transaction to operate on consistent versions of data, further reducing rollback rates. Thank you.
And next is Ron. Do you encounter any difficulties?
Yeah, there are a few challenges I encounter, and the first one is definitely the integration complexity. I mean, incorporating optimistic locking with the current ad hoc patterns could be a bit of a balancing act, especially while, keeping data consistent. And the second one is the concurrency testing. Setting up a realistic high concurrency environment for testing could be a little bit tricky. And I need to make sure we're accurately simulating how each mechanism behaves under heavy load. And the third one is definitely performance monitoring. We need finding the right performance metrics to track and building a robust process for monitoring them is going to be important. And there's going to be tons of selections. Yeah. And we need to make the right one. And we need to make sure the data we're collecting is actually meaningful and truly reflects each mechanism's efficiency. Yeah, that's all about it.
And Yaya, how about you?
I think I have, but based on our previous discussion, I think I already solved it because I know that we need to apply the optimistic lock in our open source project, but actually I don't know how we get the data from that. But based on our previous discussion, we can use the test tool to get it. So yeah, so at this point, I don't think I have any problem.
And John, did you have any difficulties?
During we did the proposal, I found it's difficult to reduce the bottlenecks and how to enhance the reliability, particularly for high concurrency environments like e-commerce. That's it.
And for me personally, I I'm still working on fully understand the concept of the mentioned in the papers, and particularly how they can balance flexibility and correctness in highly concurrent environments. And there's also a challenge of fully setting up the environment and ensuring everything runs smoothly so that we can proceed with more detailed discussions. And I think that's it for today. I hope everyone have a good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
You too.